Hey everyone, I hope you can see me okay and that the phone doesn't fall, because it's kind of precarious again. But anyway, I have already filmed and hopefully at this point will have posted my April wrap-up, and this video and the next video are going to be about my May reads. This one is actually going to be my announcement video for my participation in the BookBuddyathon. I had to remember the full title, but anyway, this is something that's put on, I believe, by ElenaReadsBooks. I think she was the one who created it, and she is hosting it. I think she's the one who created it, I'm pretty sure, but I could be wrong. But anyway, I just recently discovered her channel, and I really like watching her videos, so I will link her channel down below, or at least post it down below, because I'm bad at links. But anyway, I think I've known about this for maybe the last 2 times that it's been done, but I've never actually actively participated. And this time I was talking to Katie from BooksandThings, and we were talking about Buddy reading a book, and I said, hey, do you want to participate in this readathon, since we're already reading a book together and that's one of the challenges for it? And she was like, oh yeah, that sounds really fun. So, really the only way that I know how to explain what this is by describing the challenges, because it's weird. You kind of read with your buddy, but you kind of don't read with your buddy. It's sort of a get to know you readathon, kind of thing from what I've heard described by Elena. So, challenge number 1. You read a book together, which, you know, sounds like it would be if it's a BookBuddyathon. So we are going to be reading Treasure Island together, by Robert Louis Stevenson. Mine is illustrated by N.C. Wyeth, and I've been meaning to read this book for so long because there are so many versions, there's so many TV versions of this that I really, really like. But especially my favorite is the Muppet Treasure Island film. I love that film, and I know most people's favorite Muppet movie is Christmas Carol, but I really, really love Treasure Island, like, a lot. I watched it ad nauseum when I was little. But anyway, so I've never read the book, and this book is very, very special to me, this particular book, because this was my grandfather's copy. And he had it when he was little, and my grandmother gave it to me after he passed away. So I'm really happy that my first reading experience with this book is going to be my granddad's copy. And I also have the audiobook on Overdrive too. So I'm not really sure when in the week we'll be reading this, but this is challenge number 1. And then challenge number 2 is you read a book that has a title that starts with the letter that your book buddy's first name starts with. And this is a huge challenge for me because none of my books for May start with the letter K, so I have to cheat, and I am going to be reading Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, which was already on the list for this month. And, you know, K is in there, it's just not at the front. So I am cheating on that one, but that's okay. Or at least I hope. I hope that's okay. And I'm really excited about this because I found out that I really didn't have any interest in ever trying to read this book, to be honest, until I found out that Audible Studios produced an audiobook that was Dan Stevens narrating Frankenstein, and I really love Dan Stevens as an actor, and I also really love him as a narrator since I listened to his narration of And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie last December. I thought he did an amazing job as a narrator, so after that I started looking for more things that he narrates, and when I found out he did a narration of Frankenstein, I was like, maybe his narration can actually make me like the story. Because the thing is, I have only ever read part of Frankenstein. I read it when we were assigned to read it when I was a senior in high school, and I only read little bits of it. I think I skim read even those little bits because I have seen a couple different movie versions of Frankenstein and I haven't liked any of them. And you know, it could be I just haven't seen the right one, but I haven't ever really been interested. But so many people say that the book is so much better than any of the films. So that plus finding this narration really made me want to retry it. So anyway, that's the book that I will be reading / listening to. I'll be reading it if I can find the free ebook on Kindle, but otherwise I will just be listening to it. But that's what I'll be doing for that challenge. The next challenge is reading a book where the cover has your book buddy's favorite color on it. And for that, Katie's favorite color is purple, which I thought was great because that's my third favorite color. My first two being blue and orange. And I have this beautiful, beautiful edition of Sense and Sensibility, and rereading this was on my list for the month, so I just decided to have this be sooner in my reading, and I will be rereading this particular copy along with listening to the Juliet Stevenson audiobook that I have out from the library. And, you know, this is a lot of purple, so this counts like time and a half for this challenge. Or time and a half, I don't know, it counts times 2. Anyway, yeah, so I love this, and I'm so excited to dive into my favorite book for, like, I guess the 4th or 5th time, which I know is kind of weird that I've only read it that many times, but anyway, I love it, so I'm excited for that. And then, next challenge is you give your buddy, you pick 3 books and you give your buddy that list of books, and then they pick which one they want you to read. So for that, if I can find it, the first one that I gave Katie was, I almost said Book Expectations. Anyway, Great Expectations by Charles Dickens, which I don't have a physical copy of because I have the audiobook and ebook out from the library. But that was option number 1. Option number 2 was Villette by Charlotte Bronte. And option number 3 was Woman in White by Wilkie Collins. And okay, random little fun fact, I just realized that all of the books that I gave her to choose have alphabetical order for the last names, like B, C, and then D. I thought that was weird, but anyway, so the one that she picked, she was really funny. She said, I'm going to betray Dickens and choose Charlotte Bronte's Villette. So yeah, she was very excited for me to read this, and I'm very excited for me to read this because I have been trying to read it, and, well, not trying to read it, but it's been on my list for so long, and I have said in random months that it was going to be in my TBR, and then it fell by the wayside, so really excited for this. This is going to be my 2nd Charlotte Bronte and my 4th Bronte book overall, so hopefully I will love it. And then the next one, okay, I've done the color one, the list one, the name one, and the buddy read. The last one is you pick a book on a whim to read, and this is another one where I have to cheat. Because I am not at home right now. Well, I am at home, but I'm at a different home. I'm at not my normal home. Anyway, so when my family comes down here, I basically just have to bring all of the books that I want to read with me. We do have books here, but there aren't many that are here that are my general tastes. So anyway, I bring all the books that I want to read down with me, and since I have a very, I guess, strict May TBR this time, which is the first time this has happened in a while, I brought them all down with me, so I have to pick on a whim books that I've basically already chosen to read. But these two, the two that I'll be picking from, are books that I didn't really know I wanted to read this month until like 2 days ago, which I know wasn't the start of the month yet, but still, that's pretty spur of the moment. So I'm counting it. So anyway, those are American Gods by Neil Gaiman or Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman. I'm hoping to get to both of these this month, but which one I read during the BookBuddyathon will depend on how much time I end up having. I would probably prefer to start with this one because the show just started and I've only seen one episode and I'm really loving it, but only seeing the one episode even made me realize that there's so much from the book that I've forgotten because I've only read it 1.5 times, sort of. Like I've listened to it all the way through once, and then when I found out the show was coming out, I tried to reread it, and I only ended up getting to chapter 6 before I had to put it down for other stuff. So this time I'm hoping to start it over and actually get all the way through it. The show this season will only go through about the first third of the book because the way that they've written the series, hopefully it will run for all 3 seasons because that's how long it will take to tell the whole story. So even if I just get through a third, that's okay, but I'm hoping to get through all of it. And then the other one, oh yeah, I already said, but Norse mythology. This one I really want to read because it's new and it's Norse myths and it's Neil Gaiman, and watching the first episode of American Gods really just made me want to read some new Neil Gaiman, but some new Neil Gaiman that still had to do with gods. So yeah, hopefully I'll get to this regardless of whether I read it during the BookBuddyathon. Okay, this ended up not being that much shorter. It only ended up being about a minute shorter than my first take, but oh well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you guys are participating in the BookBuddyathon, and if so, who your buddy is. I will put Katie's channel and Elena's channel down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.